Hi Debbie, I'm going to nip through the homework that you sent me alongside the notes that you gave, just saying what you found tricky and what you enjoyed, and we'll just go through everything that you got for me. So first up, I wanted to talk about this because you said, I think I might have gone a bit overboard. Not at all. I think this looks fantastic. I love the gloriousness of these fall colors that you've put in here. And I don't actually think you can really go overboard with, as long as you've got some contrast in your color, you will end up with something that looks great. And the more you experiment, the more you'll get, then you'll have a number of different pieces and you can start to say, I like this one better than that one. And then you can start thinking about why you like certain ones better than others. So I think this just playing and going overboard or less overboard is a part of finding what gives you joy, and what gives you joy is what's going to be your style at the end. So I think this is fab. Obviously really great the way you've set it up as well. The rule of thirds, absolutely perfect there. Nice to have Justin good and close, and then the trees a little bit further back like that. So that's great. And I love the way that you've overlapped the leaves in front of his feet like this. So there is a beautiful sense of depth in this picture that you drew. Okay, so let us take a quick look at this one. Okay, good one to start with. You said, I think he's a little too old in this one. Got to shrink him down somehow. So what I would agree with you. And I think the thing is, he's got a lot of lankiness in his arms and his legs. And then his head size in comparison to the rest of his body. Those are the three factors which are making him look older. So here he looks more kind of 10-ish or maybe a little older than that to me. And I found a couple of more, I just Googled toddler crouching and I came up with these. So this is obviously a fairly young toddler. You can see head's quite big. The arms, the full length of the arm from the shoulder to the hand, okay, is slightly bent. It's about the same as this, the length of the lower leg, the shin. And then here as well, you can see, let me just make sure that I've got a space and a pen. If you look at this, the sort of length of the body is almost the same length as the thigh like that. And then again, the head is pretty big in relation to the body. So that is really what you need to do. I would say bringing the arm straight forward like this would make it feel like it would just shorten the arm. And you would end up with probably having his foot closer in like this, so less length in the leg. But if you were to look at either one of these, I think this one would actually be a great one to use. It is in profile, so that's not as easy to work with, but it does give you, you can get quite close up to get a sense of how you can draw him. So let me go back into a different kind of a pen. Let's go for 6B pencil here. If we just kind of take the roundness of his buttock here and the knee, we've got all these wrinkly bits of that, and then trouser going around like that. Little arm you can see here tucked away there, but it's really the length of his back like this which gives, his height. So if you look at his head size, and because he's all in profile here, we're not getting any foreshortening. He's pretty much flat to us inside profile. So if you look at the size of the head here, it's probably like we've got 1.5 heads in the length of his body. And that gives you a sense, because I think this little guy is about the same age as the way you've been depicting Justin. This little chap is maybe a bit younger, but this guy looks like he's round about the same age as I think you want. So if you go for a 1 times head, and then you've got 1.5 for the length of the body, and we go in and put in his leg like that with his trousers and shoes, littler feet like that. So we can end up with trousers, and he could either have here where he's got his arm kind of tucked into his body, and then the hand on the other side is coming down. So we might have a hand like this, and with his little hand like that. Little eyes. We can show a little bit of his face like this if we wanted to, and the hair curling around the ears like that might give you a bit more of what you're looking for. I'm just going to go here. Here's his back. Coming round, there would be the back of his shirt, legs, feet like that. So I think you could use this as a pretty good map to get crouching proportions, and that is what I would do to troubleshoot that. Okay, let us take a look at this one. So in this one again, he looks quite old. He looks older, and I think it's because he's got a lot of hair, and he's got a very strong jawline here, and that is just too much for a little child. So youngsters tend to have the roundness of the face. And I know you've been working on photographs for Justin, and obviously in a photograph it's much more subtle, and the face shape is there, but I think you need to avoid getting this squareness of face, because that is always going to make him look like a almost pubescent. You know, as soon as they start developing that jawline, it's just adds so much age to the face. So I think we need to go just a little bit gentler on the hair. What you can do is you can go in and erase a little bit. Let me just choose go with ink bleed. If you erase a little bit at the top, of course I'm working in the wrong layer, so let me use white and put in white. If you erase a little bit at the top, it just thins the hair slightly like this and gives you a bit of light coming in at the top, so that also is a help. Showing the ear is important, so this ear on this side, and just the thickness of the hair, you might need to reduce that slightly, but I would definitely go with bigger eyes. Again, big eyes in comparison to size of face is important in terms of age, and just slightly more rounded rather than strong jaw, and then also just a little narrower neck. So as boys age, their neck gets stronger. Obviously a whole lot of development activity in terms of strength goes into the neck, and as it gets broader. So as soon as you've got a wider neck like that, you're going to have age. So if you go for a little more slender neck, then you can get you're going to get what you are looking for in terms of a younger age. Okay, so that, and also if you do a slightly more cartoony mouth, so rather than having the mouth rounded like this with the teeth showing at the top, if you just do it like this, almost more like a little watermelon-y mouth like that, that'll be more cartoony and less realistic, and that'll help you. Okay, so that's what I would suggest for this, is just less strength in the neck and less strength in the jawline. Okay, let us take a look at this one. So you said looks a little bit off, maybe the hair. So again, he's got a big head of hair on here, but I think what is probably going on a little bit for the 3/4 point length, we need to get this, given that arm is kind of going to be partially hidden by this side of his torso, the line of his jumper will come down on this side like this. So you could almost just have the arm going like that, and from his shoulder like this. And then I reckon it is this bit of his hair. So you're not going to see that part of his head really. So this little kind of bump inwards is tricky. I would stick rather to something like this. So we've got an eye and an eye like that, and a little nose, because the other side of the cheek tends to disappear a little bit. So we can go like this and just have his hair, that kind of little curl disappearing off almost into mid-air. And then we've got the hair coming around like this little curl around here. I think it's going to be a little bit shorter on this side. This will go up and over, but we won't see this bit. Okay, so like that, and then fairly much as you have it already there. We're going to have his body coming down like this. Okay, working super roughly here. And then this little arm, his legs are looking good, so I would bring them like that again, as you have. Maybe it's better to get a clear silhouette, so even if you have to deviate a little bit from your reference, if you've got a reference, I would get a silhouette which shows the legs individually, or rather than them overlapping too much like this. It just gives you more action and kind of whatever's going on. Or else what you could do is have this leg, a leg behind like that, so more more exaggerated is the word that I'm looking for. Just a moment, let's go and get rid of some of this. So if we wanted a more exaggerated look, you can, the other thing to do is needing a more exaggerated look, but wanting it to be a clearer silhouette, you have to shift the legs in terms of position. So I would say then have the far leg as the leg which is planted. Okay, so that's the one that he's bouncing off. And the closer leg, this one, is the leg which is with the foot up in the air. So this is the one, the close one is the one that he's got bent and is hopping. And the far one is the one which is actually on the ground. And again, we would have to adjust the length of this to make it work properly. But you can see sometimes this is a matter of working things out on the hop, literally. Okay, so sometimes you've got to take a little bit of artistic license and say, I really need it to have a good clear silhouette. And to have a good clear silhouette, I need this leg, close leg, to be the one which is bent at the knee, and the far leg to be the one which is straight. Okay, and the main thing I think that's going on is this fun, it's slightly Cupid doll look here that we've got there, where you've got this very defined dent there. So I would go for a much rounder face, and as I say, the little lick of his curl going off into space rather than having anything seen on that side. Alrighty, we are moving along. Okay, this one is good. Again, just be careful of this dent, because that's what starts to give you the sense of a stronger jawline. So you just need to watch out for that. But otherwise, I like this little guy. It's you might want his eyes a little bit further apart. Not sure. No, he's pretty good as he is. And he feels like a good age to me. I think this is the age that you've been working with. So perfect placement, obviously. Okay, so we spoke about this one, and it's pretty good. I like the way you've layered the color. You can see the underlying color and then the kind of 20% over the top. It gives a beautiful soft effect. So this is pretty good. I haven't got anything much to say about this one. Okay, and this is the one where you said he just feels too old. I think what is going on here is his eyes need to be a whole lot bigger for the size of his face. So let me go in. I can't really use, let me just use black, or I can just use pink like this. So what we need is his eyes to be a lot bigger. And that will immediately make him look younger. So, and then you probably need a little touch of light in the eyes. I usually use the light dot as to indicate the pupil. That helps. So yeah, size of eyes is huge, and that is a tricky thing when it comes to using button eyes. So you could even go larger with the eyes like this, because the size of the eyes in the face is very much a determinant of how young a character looks. So eyes lower down in the face and big eyes in relation to the size of the face is really what you're looking for. Let's go and put his pupils back in like this. Here he is looking down at Mr. Snail. You could bring his eyebrows down a little bit. And the hair actually is pretty good in terms of how the features and things are laid out. So this I don't think is nearly as bad as you were concerned about. I would probably, I think this is good. Even just increasing the size of the eyes brings it much closer to the way you've been drawing Justin pretty much for all the time since you started developing him. So let me know what you think about that. But just size of eyes is going to make a huge difference. A smaller mouth. So often little children tend to have a little more of a little rosebuddy mouth. So you could narrow his mouth a little bit like this. Give him a more of just a smile like that. It's the only other thing that I would suggest. Otherwise, I really like this close-up look that you've gone for. Okay, so I think we have commented on everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's that feedback for now.